The wind came first, a long, low breath across the valley that made the grass bow east like it remembered who owned it. Then came the sound, a hum of diesel, a steel target creaking somewhere downrange. Behind that noise, Staff Sergeant Arden Vale was already awake. She didn't need an alarm. She hadn't since Helmand, where sunrise meant you were still alive. Now, years later, at Red River Precision Range just outside Fort Raven, North Carolina, she worked as a former Marine Corps marksmanship instructor turned contractor, teaching others to shoot straighter, think colder, breathe slower. The flags snapped hard this morning, 17 knots steady, gusts near 20. Cold air bit her fingers as she ran her hand along the M13 Mod 7 300 Winchester Magnum smooth bolt, clean barrel, glass-clear scope. Every scratch on that rifle told a story she didn't have to. Downrange. The valley shimmered 900 meters to target. That distance didn't care about gender, rank, or reputation. It only cared whether the work was done right. From the control tower, Commander Nathan Reddick stepped out, coffee in hand, scanning the layout like a man who trusted no one's aim but his own. 24 years in naval special warfare had made him precise, sharp, unyielding. His orders today were simple: evaluate SEAL candidates, confirm their cold-bore shots, and keep contractors off the line. He hadn't met Arden yet. She glanced toward the tower. Jaw set. Her father's voice echoed once, quiet but certain. The rifle doesn't care who holds it, but people do. The radio cracked to life. Range control to Red River. Range live fire evaluation begins in 10. Arden exhaled slowly, eyes steady on the horizon. She didn't know it yet. But by sundown, every man on that range would remember her name. Where are you watching from? Soldier, drop your country in the comments and hit that subscribe so you don't miss when the next shot lands. The conference room smelled of gun oil and burnt coffee, a place where silence carried rank. Commander Nathan Reddick stood at the front, posture sharp, voice colder than the steel targets outside, beside the projector. Senior Chief Alejandro Morales, Range Master from the Training Support Detachment, observed quietly. Years of sniper instruction had carved calm into him. He'd seen more missed shots than made ones, and could sense tension before it snapped. Across the table sat the SEAL candidates, Lang, Diaz, Chen, and Rivers, backs straight, eyes forward, faces tight. They looked like men waiting for judgment. Reddick started the briefing like a firing line. You'll fire 1 round each, 900 meters, MK13 Mod 7 300, Win Mag, winds 20 knots, variable northwest, cold bore, miss it, and you don't belong here. No one spoke. Then, from the back of the room, Arden Vale's voice cut clean through the silence. Commander, I can make that shot. Every head turned. The air stiffened. Reddick didn't glance her way. This evaluation's for SEAL candidates, not contract staff. Morales shifted but kept quiet. Reddick's tone stayed even. Deliberate. Observe from the tower. Instructor Vale. That's all that's required. Arden nodded once. No protest. Her stillness said enough. Reddick continued with firing order. Wind call procedures. Safety checks. The candidates scribbled notes, pretending not to glance at her. But the room felt different now, a quiet wager hanging between command and contractor. When the briefing ended, Morales lingered. He leaned close, lowering his voice. You've done this before. Haven't you Arden zipped her jacket? Enough times to know the wind doesn't pick favorites. Outside, the flags were snapping harder, the air thick with coming rain. from the tower window. Reddick watched her step into the wind, MK-13 slung low across her shoulder. Steady and sure. He said nothing, but the look in his eyes wasn't dismissal anymore. It was curiosity, the kind that came before respect. And though he didn't know it yet, by the time she touched that rifle, every assumption he'd made about her would already be falling apart. The first shot cracked through the air, sharp, sudden, and wrong. A puff of dust bloomed 2 feet left of the target. From the tower, Commander Reddick watched through binoculars, jaw tight. Next shooter. He ordered, calm voice, clenched tone. 3 SEAL candidates cycled through the line, one after another. Lang pulled low. Diaz overcompensated. Chen's round drifted right, carving air where precision should have lived. Rivers stood back, sidelined after spraining his wrist during drills that morning. On the observation deck, Arden Vale said nothing. The wind had shifted 21 knots cross, northwest to southeast. The flags snapped like warnings, and the mirage shimmered hard over the dry valley. Morales leaned closer. "You seeing what I'm seeing?" Arden nodded once. "They're chasing the gusts, not reading the rhythm." He smirked faintly. "And you could." Her gaze didn't move from the valley. "That's what I'm built for." Down below. Reddick turned from the line, frustration showing for the first time. Anyone else he called part sarcasm, part challenge. Morales cleared his throat. "Commander, request permission for Instructor Vale to perform a demonstration shot, training value only." Reddick hesitated, then keyed his radio. "Range control. This is OIC, requesting demonstration fire by contract instructor, simulation of cold bore conditions." Static cracked. "Approved under OIC waiver," came the reply. Safety conditions met. Reddick lowered the radio, eyes fixed on Arden. "You get 1 round? Treat it like the first shot of your life. Miss it, you're off the roster for good." Arden stepped forward, voice even. "Understood." She dropped to one knee beside the MK-13 Mod 7, sliding the bolt open with care. The steel felt steady, constant, unchanging. She adjusted the bipod, flattened against the mat. The valley spreading wide before her. Through the scope, the world shrank to one equation: wind, distance, gravity, truth. Morales whispered into the headset. "Shooter ready." Reddick crossed his arms. Expression unreadable. Arden steadied her breathing. The flags quivered. The valley paused, even the air seemed to wait. The next few seconds would separate confidence from proof. The world went still. No birds, no engines, just the hum of wind and the heartbeat of steel. Arden Vale lay prone, cheek pressed to the stock of the MK-13 Mod 7, the rifle cold. Patient. Steady. 900 meters away. A black silhouette shimmered through the heat mirage, daring her to try. She exhaled halfway, then paused. The wind shifted soft but steady, 18, maybe 20 knots, left to right. She read the mirage, the flags, the dance of air translating chaos into numbers. 33 MOA elevation, 4/10 left, she murmured, adjusting the scope. Subtle corrections most wouldn't notice. Morales watched from behind, silent. He knew better than to break rhythm. Behind them, Commander Reddick stood, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. The air around him felt charged, half disbelief, half something close to hope. For a second, Morales thought, even the wind seemed to wait. "Shooter ready," he called quietly. Arden didn't answer. Her world had narrowed to one truth: read the wind. Trust the math. Pull when the rhythm feels right. Her father's voice came back not as memory, but instinct. Don't fight the wind. Read it, then let it go. She let her breath slide out one slow, perfect line. The shot broke like thunder. The recoil came straight back, clean and centered, through the scope. She caught the trace, a faint silver arc slicing the air in slow motion. 1 heartbeat. 2. Impact, center mass. The tower radio crackled to life. Confirmed hit dead center. Morales exhaled, a grin breaking his stillness. The echo hung longer than it should have, like the valley itself was holding its breath. Arden cleared the chamber, stood, and stepped off the line. No celebration, just the smell of burnt powder and proof. Reddick walked forward, boots grinding gravel. He checked the spotting scope himself, gaze locked on the single hole punched through steel. Then he turned to her, and for the first time, there was respect in his voice. "Where'd you learn to shoot like that?" Arden's reply was steady. Quiet. "My father taught me the wind. The Corps taught me the rest." Reddick nodded once. Slow. Then turned to his stunned candidates. "Watch and remember." He said, "That is what right looks like." The flags snapped again, the wind rising not as an enemy, but as applause. And somewhere deep down, Reddick knew this wouldn't be the last time he heard her name. By late afternoon, the wind had quieted. But the echo of that one perfect shot still lingered in the valley. The air felt changed, as if it remembered her. Arden Vale packed the M13 Mod 7 back into its case with the same precision she'd used to fire it, calm, methodical, exact. Every motion was quiet ritual. From the tower, Commander Nathan Reddick watched. The man who'd once doubted her now said nothing, just studied the discipline in every small movement. Beside him, Morales gave a small nod. "You know," he said quietly, "some people spend years earning that kind of trust." Arden zipped the case shut. "Trust isn't earned," she said. "It's revealed." Minutes later, Reddick stepped down from the tower, boots crunching gravel, a folder in hand. His tone had shifted, no command. "Just respect." "Vale," he said, "I owe you an apology." She shook her head. "You don't owe me anything." "Commander?" He paused. "I do. I judged your name before I saw your work." He handed her the folder. "Request for inclusion Nensontal's Training Support Division. Consulting Evaluator Roster. Contract basis. You'll be called in for special range validations and cross-service training." Arden looked at the paper. Then back toward the open field, the horizon gold, the light fading over the berms. "That's unexpected," she said softly. Reddick's reply was simple. "You made believers out of skeptics. We could use more of that." For a long moment, neither spoke. The flags hung loose, tired from the day. Then Arden smiled faintly. "I'll be here." Reddick nodded. "Good. We need people who listen to the wind." Beyond the ridge, a CH-47, Chinook lifted the last load of gear off the range. Its rotors rolled across the valley like a closing heartbeat. Arden watched it fade into the sky steady, patient before looking back toward the line. The target still stood one clean hole, center mass. Proof enough. Her father's words came back, soft but clear. "The rifle doesn't care. The wind doesn't care. The truth always shows itself." Arden smiled, whispering more to herself than anyone else. "The world doesn't care who you are only if you do the work true." And with that, she turned toward the wind, ready for whatever came next.